Hello everyone, here is Bhuvan again in yet another video on practical project management tips, this time for students and parents alike. As you may know, I'm on a mission to make project management accessible to everyone, mainly the younger generation, the future citizens of the nation and of the world. I would take in this series many topics, many complex topics on project management, try to demystify them and present them in a way that can be immediately used by everyone, both project management professionals and non-project management people alike. Many of them will be aimed especially at the younger folk, for example students, and in this session we are going to see a very interesting topic on planning and organizing yourself, where we would see concepts like planning, prioritization, crisis management, and the like. This was a session I presented to a large group of students and parents in recent times, virtually, of course, and some of them had wanted a YouTube video on this, so I thought I would present this in a very crisp manner, around half an hour at the maximum, 40 minutes, for example. So, without much ado, let's try to go into the topic planning and organizing yourself. And in the meantime, please like this video and also subscribe to my YouTube channel VR Vritta, VR underscore VRTTA, as well as its sister channel PM Vritta, PM underscore VRTTA. So thank you very much. Let's get into the topic now. So what will we see in this session? Basically three major concepts: how to plan, how to prioritize, and how to manage crisis. Of course, if you do the first two steps properly, planning and prioritization, you would be able to handle crisis without much ado. So how many of you relate to this video on the day, or this photo on the day before your examination? I have done this. When I was a student, I've tried spending many a sleepless night, but I would be sleepy. I would try to basically keep my eyes open. So Mr. Bean, this situation is not very uncommon for us as folks. So why does this happen? But before that, let me ask you a couple more questions. What is this? It's a vegetable, it's a fruit. We don't know. It's a tomato. Okay. And our dear Mr. Monkey, what does a tomato have in common with a monkey? And what do these two things have in common with Mr. Bean? Let's see. Ah, yes, Amir Khan, Ghazni. Yes, you have seen the tattoos on Amir Khan in the movie Ghazni. Lots of to-do lists, huh? And of course, this is a temple in Tanjore. It's world famous in Tamil Nadu. This temple, the Brihadishwara temple, was built more than 1000 years back. And if you know well, at the top of the temple there is a single stone. The shadow of the stone doesn't fall anywhere on the ground. Imagine 1000 years back they built such a temple. How did they manage to build such a structure and plan everything in such a way? It's amazing, right? So what do all these things have in common? Planning. Wait, tomato and monkey? Let's see. So planning. What's planning? Why do you need planning? Is planning simply something you make with to-do lists? Is it as simple as that? Alright, let's see. First, before you start planning, you must have a purpose. What is purpose? Children, purpose is anything, any higher thing that is much bigger than you, that you want to achieve in life, that benefits others. Examples: your life's purpose may be to become a social service person, a social worker. It could be to become a doctor, an engineer. You may aspire to build hospitals or schools. You may try to become an educator, a teacher, the noblest of all professions. It could be anything, but a purpose is anything that's much bigger than yourself, and something that you would really like to live for, and that's something that motivates you. If you have a purpose, you will achieve anything in life and you will be successful. And if you have a good purpose, then only your planning will be meaningful. Simply making a plan, you'll be running like a headless chicken here and there. You will not achieve much. Have a purpose. Towards that purpose you work, your planning will be meaningful. So basically, a purpose gives you what? It gives you a target to aim at. It gives you a sense of responsibility. It gives you accountability. It gives you motivation. Do you know what responsibility means? Very simple. Take the example of organizing a birthday party at home. You are responsible for inviting your friends. Imagine your parents want you to send invitations to your friends, your schoolmates, and after giving you the task or giving you that activity, if they can sleep peacefully that you would do it, they don't have to track you repeatedly. That's called responsibility. Accountability is something similar. It is like having your head on the platter. It is like a collar to hold. You are accountable for something. So target, responsibility, accountability, motivation, all these things come if you have a purpose. If you don't have a purpose and only have a plan, this is exactly what's going to happen. You are going to run in circles like the scribble. You are not going to reach anywhere. Or you'll have simply too many things to do, like this person with all the post-it cards or the sticky notes around. So purpose is something that binds, that integrates everything that you plan for and live for. Without a purpose, there cannot be a plan, there cannot be a meaningful plan. And when you talk of a purpose, it's also about setting some SMART goals for yourself. SMART. Specific goals, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Example: instead of saying, I want to pass my English test, I am not really good in English, you be very specific. In the English test, I have grammar. I am not so comfortable with grammar. Okay, how do you measure it? I will practice grammar, for example, active voice, passive voice, direct and indirect speech, or for example, vocabulary. I'm not good at vocabulary. I'll be learning 3 new words a day. Over the next 10 days, I would have learned 30 words. So if you know on the third or fourth day you have not reached the enough number of vocabulary, the words to learn, you would know that you are not on target. So it's something that can be measured. Achievable? Yes, you should set something that is actionable. For example, I want to take help from one of my parents, my father or my mother, who is good in English, who is good in vocabulary, for example, so that I can go and ask them for help and they can support me. There can be an action that I can place with respect to whatever I want to achieve. Realistic, not something that's wild, not something that's fantastic. Say for the next 2 months, I would practice my grammar or I would learn some words so that it's something meaningful. Not that you plan to become Shakespeare over a period of 30 days, but something simple that you aim for and you can realistically achieve. And time bound within a certain period of time, not something that runs for 2 years or 3 years. So SMART, SMART goals. You have a purpose that's bigger than yourself, and then you set some SMART goals as you see here, and then you are on the path to greater planning. So here is an exercise. Take a pen and paper, think of some things that you can have as a purpose in your life. It may be a very big word. Even grown-ups like me, I'm almost 40 now, and even I keep asking myself what my purpose in life is. It's not very easy, but as kids it's very easy. You start imagining things, you start thinking what could be your purpose. That gives you a motivation and a goal to run behind. But now that you have a purpose, let's start with planning. Where exactly do I start? Simple. There is a concept called time box in project management, in agile project management, for example, a sprint. Your life is not a sprint, it's a marathon, but you have to handle it as small sprints, an aggregation of sprints. Imagine now it is January, you have your examination in December. You cannot say that I will plan everything for the next 12 months. You have to break it in small time boxes. For example, the next 2 to 4 weeks. Imagine I have 5 subjects: English, language, social studies, science, and mathematics. You can say, for example, over the next 2 weeks, over the next 4 weeks, I will do 2 chapters in English, 2 chapters in mathematics, 1 chapter in language, 2 chapters in social studies, for example. And you will do only this, nothing more. And after these 4 weeks, I will start another time box, another sprint where I will learn the rest of my subjects. If you do this, you can be more focused. That is the meaning of having time boxes. Whatever you do is within this time box. Your world does not exist outside this time box. So this is called a sprint, and you do something called a PDCA, plan, do, check, act, which means you plan something for 4 weeks and you take a small portion of it, you do it, you pilot it, you test it. For example, you have planned to do something over the next 4 weeks. For example, English, I will learn 3 chapters. But then you learn one chapter and then you find it is not really realistic that you can finish all the 3 chapters in 2 weeks or 4 weeks. Then you will have a small course correction. You will say, let me not do all the 3 chapters, let me do only 2 chapters. So planning and then doing it in a small amount so that you know whether your plan is realistic, and then making necessary corrections, that's checking, and then re-implementing your plan, acting. This is the PDCA cycle. This is very important. Otherwise, you will be spending a lot of time and at the end you will find that you are not able to achieve it. So better, the aim is to start early, fail early so that you can do course corrections early. And then comes a very important concept of milestones. What is a milestone? I think you know this gentleman, Nelson Mandela. He said, remember to celebrate milestones as you prepare for the road ahead. What is a milestone, children? Imagine you are living in Mumbai. Your grandparents are living in Pune. 200 kilometers is the distance. You start in your car traveling to Pune. The milestone, the marker on the road says 200 kilometers to Pune. You go to the outskirts of Mumbai. It says 175 kilometers. And as you reach Pune, 150 kilometers, 100 kilometers, 50 kilometers, you know, a sense of excitement builds in you. You are happy because you are going to see your grandparents soon. You are reaching your destination. How do you know that? Because there are milestones. Imagine your milestone says 200 kilometers to Pune, and after half an hour of driving you see 250 kilometers. You know you are in the wrong direction. So milestones do two important things. One, they give you a sense of direction to know whether you are on the right path or not. And second, it gives you a sense of achievement, celebration. And as you reach each intermediate milestone, you get happier, you get more motivated to achieve more. That is why milestones should be set even in a long plan. And then the most important concept of all, flow. You know, as elders, what we do is we do 1,000 things. Even as children, you would start reading English, your English subject, and then you go to mathematics after 1 hour. After another hour, you go to social studies. After 5 hours, you have studied a lot, you have done a lot, you have not achieved anything. Quite a lot of work you have done, but nothing is inside your head. Why? Because you never had a flow. That means when you are shifting from one topic to another repeatedly, there is so much clutter into your head that you are not able to concentrate or learn anything. So never do that. The concept is very simple. Remember these two things. Stop starting, start finishing. Means you do not start too many things and leave them unfinished. Start only one or two things, finish them completely, and then move to the next thing. So you stop starting new things. You start finishing whatever you have already started. This is called flow, which is very important. Then you have a sprint plan for 4 weeks or 2 weeks. Then comes the weekly plan. Whatever you plan at a higher level for 4 weeks, you break it down into weeks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all the way up to Saturday. Here comes the power of accumulation. Whatever you plan for the longer term, 4 weeks, you split them into shorter 4-week plans. The magic of accumulation is, as you are doing these things, you will never realize you are doing something big. But suddenly after some time you realize you achieved a lot. You don't even know how you reached there. Small steps. That's what a weekly plan is. In a weekly plan, you would usually fill the most urgent and important tasks. You will see a little later how to do this. And after you fill the most urgent tasks, you will have time for doing the less important or less urgent tasks. Most important thing, as you make this weekly plan as well as the daily plan that follows based on time slots. So you wake up at 6 in the morning, you do something, you do yoga, you do some physical exercise at 6 in the morning, then you sit and study some subject. Make sure you plan not only for your classes and your homework, which is what you always do, also plan for your extracurricular activities. You may be learning music, you may be learning a new language, French, Chinese. You may be doing physical activities, playing with your friends, indoor games, outdoor games, yoga, anything that strengthens your mind, it strengthens your body, and entertainment like watching television. Believe me, many times we don't mark these things in our timetable. It's important to have these extracurricular activities, physical exercise, games, and entertainment, even watching TV, everything. That's what good planning is. Have these things in your timetable. It's really very, very useful. You understood this? Beautiful. So now let's get to the next stage. What are some tools and techniques, practical tips? I use sometimes things called sticky notes. You can see here a sticky note, most of you would already be using it. You can simply write something and you can just take it and you can just paste it on your fridge, on your laptop, on your notebook, anywhere, practically wherever you want. And you can use some color pens, different colors of sketches, so you can remember things, you can categorize them. It's very useful. Instantaneously you can plan and remember things. Then there's a thing called affinity diagram. Very simple. Whatever you're planning on your sticky notes, you categorize them, you group them. Example, birthday party. Imagine one activity you have to do for your birthday party is planning for a cake. What are the different activities? Calling the baker, designing the writing on the cake, happy birthday to myself, I am 7 years old, 8 years old, and in ensuring that the baker remembers this, you follow up with him, collecting the cake. All these are different smaller activities under the major activity called ordering a cake. Imagine you write sticky notes, call the baker at 7 o'clock in the evening, follow up with the baker regularly, call the baker regarding designing on the top of the cake. These are different smaller activities. You group them all under one heading and then you post them. This is called an affinity diagram. Very simply, it helps you to categorize related activities under one heading and then you are good to go. Don't worry, there are also some mobile applications. Definitely your parents will be having smartphones, right? On the smartphones there are default calendars. There is Google Calendar, as you see here. You can use all of them. There is a beautiful application that I use which is called Color Note. It is an online or a virtual sticky note. You can make to-do lists on this, you can delete them, you can make checklists, you can do all these things using Color Note application. You can use it straight away, right? Sometimes you can do on Excel also. You list the task, you set a target date, you set priority high or low, status open, closed, remarks you can mark. If you are well versed with Excel and you are comfortable using Excel, you can also do the same. So these are some tools and techniques. How to plan. Some more tools and techniques. Mind map. Mind map works on the premise, on the principle that there is a central theme and then there are related themes around it, and as you go further outward you list the sub themes under the major themes, all branching outward from a central theme. For example, birthday is your central theme. You will have different sub themes around it. As I said earlier, cooking, cleaning up the room, the party room after the party is over, ordering the cake, inviting your friends. And when you are going to invite your friends, you'll have sub themes, inviting colleagues, inviting classmates, inviting friends, inviting your neighbors, quite a lot of activities. So you start with the central theme called birthday, then branch it out to the major themes like ordering food, ordering cake, inviting friends, and then for each of these activities you put more branches, sub themes, like that you build. So your brain is basically directed into an organized way of thinking. There are free tools which you can use on your mobile phone or on your computer also for creating mind maps. Now, one more technique. You saw the tomato earlier, right? What has tomato got to do with planning? This is what it has got to do with planning. We have a technique called the Pomodoro technique. Pomodoro means tomato. So what is this? Usually there is a tomato timer, right? That's why it's called tomato. How do you do this? Very simple. You know, any person has an attention span of maximum 10 to 15 minutes. You have to do something different or take a break, otherwise your brain will not work. You cannot learn anything meaningfully. So now the Pomodoro technique or the tomato technique works on this premise. You divide your entire day into slots of 25 minutes each. In this 25 minutes, you take up one topic and do only that one topic. Do not do other topics. Take for example, I want to learn mathematics. You do only mathematics, nothing else in this 25 minutes. When the 25 minutes are over, you give a 5 minutes break and then start the next slot of 25 minutes, and in this you learn a different subject. It could be English, completely unrelated. This way you are ensuring that your brain constantly switches from tasks, not switching immediately between tasks as I mentioned earlier. 25 minutes of concentrated full attention given learning, and then a break, and then a different topic. So this way you know you can concentrate on a topic for some time, and then you take a break, you do a different topic, your brain gets fresh, it's well prepared for learning. After four such pomodoros, four such slots of 25 minutes each, you take a bigger break, like 1 hour break for example, like lunch or entertainment, relaxation, listen to music, go out and play. You can even have a small power nap, all these things. So this is a very simple a very simple technique, the Pomodoro technique, where you balance focus with deliberate breaks so that your brain remains fresh and ready to learn. So planning is done. What next? Prioritization. What is prioritization? It comes from the word priority. Priority. Prior means before. What comes before? What comes first? What comes second? You know, you have a lot of things to do. So far you learned how to plan. What if you reach a situation where you have hundreds of tasks, too many sticky notes all around you, you are lost? Have you heard your parents say many times, do not disturb me, I'm very busy, I have too many things, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do first, what to do next? That's where you need prioritization. But again, just like I told you about purpose earlier, here also there is a term that you need to do or learn first before you prioritize. What's that? Value. Value simply means what is really important for you at any given period of time, and it can change from person to person, and even for one person it can change across periods of time. For example, when you wake up early in the morning, you will do, your value is exercise, physical exercise or yoga, and then studying. Will you watch television at 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock in the morning? You should not, you will not. So the value for you early in the morning is physical exercise or yoga or anything like that that relaxes you and then prepares your body and mind, and then studying. And what do you study early in the mornings, kids? Something that's very difficult. I don't like mathematics, I hate mathematics, it's very difficult for me. So what do you do early in the morning? You study mathematics. There is a concept called eating that frog. It is doing the most difficult, the most unpalatable thing that you really hate as the first thing in the morning. After that, any activity that you do will not be so difficult. So when you wake up early in the morning, your value is high on doing that difficult thing. At 7 o'clock in the evening, your value may be in watching television. Do not study mathematics or something that's very difficult for you at that time. So where in the morning your value is placed on doing your difficult subject, in the evening, say 5 o'clock, your value is on going out and playing with your friends. At 7 o'clock it's watching television, 8 o'clock is having food, and 9 o'clock it's on sleeping. So each of these things is important, and it's based on this value, what is important to you at that moment of time, at that period of the day. You will prioritize your tasks. It's very easy then. So the key points here are not only to do, you also identify not to do. I will do this, I will not do this. Actively say no. Imagine you are studying for something seriously, your friend calls you, says come let's play. You tell her no, I will not come to play, I will finish whatever I am doing now, then I will come to play. I am telling you no. You also deny yourself. You are very tempted to watch something, Chota Bheem, you are tempted to watch say Avocado Couple or some such cartoon on TV, but you are preparing something very important, you are studying. Tell yourself no. Saying no to yourself, saying no to others, these are very valuable things we even as adults do not do. We grown-ups also do not know how to do these things. So learn this as kids. And most important, if you think everything is important, nothing is important. So there are important things at certain periods of your life. Prioritize them. These are the key concepts. Now, decluttering. So what is decluttering? Clutter means too many things. So whenever you have too many things to do, then your mind is cluttered. So first thing you got to do is to declutter. You have to sort these things down, eliminate whatever is not necessary, and then you sort them. How do you do decluttering? Very simple. That's a technique. There is something called the Eisenhower matrix, also called the urgent important matrix. So you make 4 windows: urgent, not urgent, important, not important. Urgent means you must do it immediately, do it now. Important, it must be done, it's very needed for you, and you must do it now or later. So you categorize certain things as urgent or important and put them in these 4 windows. Examples: you are having mathematics exam tomorrow, so studying for the mathematics examination is both urgent and important. Your English examination comes after 1 week, so studying for the English examination is very important but not urgent. You can do it even after a couple of days, so that will come in the important but not urgent category. And then comes urgent but not important. For example, your parents may tell you, you know what, can you just run to the neighbor's house and then get some milk because our milk has run out, can you borrow some milk? For you it may not look important. Yes, it's very important for your family, but for you it's not very important, but it's urgent because you have to run and get that milk. So you will have to do it now, though it is not really very important according to you. So there are things like this which are urgent and not important. And then there is not urgent, not important. Imagine in 2 days time you have a very big exam coming up, you want to throw a big birthday party tomorrow. Will you do it? You won't. You will do a very simple party with your family and that's it, nothing more. It's neither urgent nor important at this point of time. So how do you handle this? Very simple. Urgent and important things you do. Mathematics exam tomorrow, you study, you do that. Not urgent but important, your English exam coming in a week's time, you plan. You plan that I will start studying for it in 2 days time, but I will not do it now, you're only planning for it. Not important but urgent things like running to your neighbor's house to get some milk, you delegate. I will tell you what delegation means. Delegation means handing over your task to someone else who is capable of doing that. Another example: your mom is busy cooking, she may ask you to take care of your little brother or sister, and she is delegating, and she will only delegate it to you if she thinks you are very responsible. And I know you are all very responsible children, you do your job very wonderfully, so your mom delegates to you the task of taking care of your brother or sister. This is called delegation. Not urgent, not important, eliminate, do not even do. You reduce the number of tasks or eliminate the number of tasks that are neither urgent nor important. This is the UI matrix, this is how you declutter. Now, you saw monkeys earlier, right? Where do the monkeys come from? That's delegation. Why do we call, or why do we drag monkeys in the picture? Very simple. Way back in 1974, there was a beautiful research done and an article written on Harvard Business Review. Even in 1999, it was republished. There, they say that every task that you do is like a monkey on your back. Every time you get a responsibility, you are carrying one additional monkey on your back. The more and more responsibilities or tasks you take up, the more and more monkeys you have on your back. Will you want to carry too many monkeys on your back? No. So what should you do? You should try to delegate it. One or more of your monkeys you move to another person, to another person's back. So you carry less monkeys on your back. You try to give those unnecessary monkeys that you need not do, give it to someone else who may appreciate the opportunity. For example, you take help from your little brother or little sister. You give one small drawing task to your brother or sister. They will love doing that. You will also get your work done. This is called delegation. And then decision making. There are lots of techniques to do decisions. So what I would do is, I would not go into much detail in this video on decision making. It suffices to say that in prioritization, decision making is very important. There is no right or wrong decision. There are only timely decisions. You do the decision today with the information you have today, with the priorities you have today. Imagine you are selecting a mobile phone. You can have multiple factors affecting your decision. Brand, cost of the mobile, maybe a good camera, good resolution camera, storage space. For each person, the priority may be different. For you, you may want a branded phone with a good camera. You don't care about the memory space in it. For someone else, it may be different. So you list what are the criteria based on which you will make a decision. Give weightage for it. My weightage is high for brand. Weightage is low for memory space. and then you rank them. For example, you take brand A like Samsung, it rates high on certain criteria, you rank it high. Some other say mobile phones, Apple, it ranks high in certain criteria, low in something else. So you give weightages to what you care about, what is priority for you. All the options you have in front of you, rank them based on how good they are with respect to each of these categories. Then you multiply the weightage by the rank. The highest value that you get, you take the decision. This is called multi-criteria decision making. Well, let's not get too deep into it. It suffices to say that what is important to you has a highest weightage, and you will take decision based on that. Now, finally, we come to crisis management. What's a crisis? There's a beautiful saying in Tamil language, Tirukkural. It was written by Thiruvalluvar more than 2000 years back. Translated in Tamil, it is read as Idukkan Varungal Naguga, Adanai Aduturvadu Agdoppadu Il. Simply it says Idukkan Varungal Naguga, which means whenever you are in trouble, laugh, smile. Because the moment you smile, the moment you laugh, your trouble is half solved. Simple technique. Never say that I am so much in trouble I can't smile. You can always smile in any situation. Then your trouble is half sorted. And look at a crisis as an opportunity. Behind every trouble, every problem, every crisis you get, there is a hidden opportunity. You will never even know. For example, you are preparing very seriously for an examination, and you are stuck with something, and then your brother, your elder brother, comes and asks some support from you. Hey, can you do this record notebook, some drawing for me? Already I am in trouble preparing for the examination. Now it's a crisis. I have more work to do because of my brother. No. By supporting your brother, by helping your brother, you are learning how to draw better. I am giving you a very simple example. So in every crisis there is an opportunity. That's the positive mindset, optimistic mindset that you should have. And the most important thing in any crisis is articulating the problem. Articulating means making your problem into a statement, creating a problem statement. Instead of simply saying, I am afraid of English, I don't like my English teacher, I am scared of English examination, you articulate that problem. I am worried about my English examination because I am very poor in vocabulary. This is articulating. Make very specific statements about your problem, because when you make statements out of your problem is 90% solved. When you say I am not good in vocabulary, what happens? You can make an action. You will take an action. Every day I will learn 3 or 4 words, as I told you a little earlier. So in 10 days I will learn 40 words. See, you can take an action on it. This is called articulation. So some things to do when you are in a crisis. First, smile. In any crisis situation you can and you should smile. Consider this as an opportunity. You will get optimistic about the situation. Finally, articulate your problem, which means express your problem into a neat statement so you can take an action on it. And of course, some people use techniques like yoga. You can listen to music. You can just stop what you are doing, do something else, take a break, relax, play, watch TV, speak to your friends, speak to your parents, whatever works for you. So if you are going to follow all the planning and prioritization techniques we saw earlier, coupled with these simple steps you see on the screen, you will be able to handle any crisis calmly. That is the essence of crisis management. So let's summarize. First, you identify a purpose that's much bigger than yourself, so you get the motivation to do anything in your life. Based on that, you make a plan, and based on the value for you at any given time, you prioritize. And finally, use all these techniques, smile, articulate your problem, and handle crisis calmly. I would close with a statement: if your purpose is giving back to the society and making people better, you will always succeed. 100%, 1000% guaranteed. Anything that you do with a higher purpose in making the lives of people around you better in this world, you will only succeed. There will be no failure. And finally, this is something we wrote. I have co-authored a book on project management in Tamil language along with my esteemed colleagues from Project Management Institute Chennai chapter. In Tamil, it's called Thittamidu Vettrithodu, which means plan and succeed. A soft copy of this book is available on Amazon. I will share the link of this in the description with this YouTube video. Please feel free to buy this book free of cost, the soft copy of this book on Amazon. This is written exclusively for children. What have we done here? We have taken a case study how to organize a sports day in your school, and we have looked at various dimensions, various aspects of project management using this case study successively. For example, how to plan your cost, how to plan your schedule, how to manage risks, everything. So I have contributed one chapter, risk management, to this. So please feel free to access this book. The link is there below this video in the description field. So again, one last time I would request you, please subscribe to the channel VR_VRTTA, VR Vritta, and its sister channel PM_Vritta. I will be uploading many such videos on interesting topics with a single mission to make project management reachable to all the masses, not just project management professionals, and especially for kids and parents. This way, we implement the useful concepts of planning and organizing ourselves towards a better future for ourselves and for our country. So I would thank you a lot for watching this video, and I request you to use at least one technique starting today and to teach this to your friends so that everyone benefits from it. So thank you very much, folks, again, and have a wonderful time. Please feel free to connect with me via the YouTube channel, via comments, and I wish you all the best. God bless you all. Jai Hind.